La fórmula preferida del profesor. I do not have the habit of reading, but this book had my attention from the introduction. I loved the story. It came too spontaneously. I read it recently, but I feel that I spent it several times since I read it. The book is by a Japanese author, but nevertheless I do not have the physical book. I only have the digital book, but it was no problem because I like to read electronic books. But at first I thought there were enough pages to read, and now I found it interesting at first glance. But I already saw for myself that you do not have to judge a book by its cover. The book is a narrative in nature, but it breaks the fourth wall, since the narrator goes to the reader as if a person were really telling you their life story in great detail, and that from my point of view was fantastic, since it made me feel as if I was not reading. If not that, I feel that a well-known person was sitting with me telling he how it had been over time. The book told an interesting story and at the same time a bit sad. The protagonist was an assistant of servant who was a single mother of only 10 years old, who was dedicated to working all day and did not have the necessary attention with his son. But this changed after her work assigned her to a new house, which was close to her home and it would be easier for her to move. Upon arrival at his new place of work, he meets a woman with a cane and apparently she was the only one who lived in the house. She told the maid that she did not live alone, that her brother-in-law lived with him, and this is where he comes from, the tragic part of the story. The brother-in-law had suffered a car accident in 1975, which had been tragic, so much so that it made his memory pause in that year. He only had 18 minutes of memory, and after time his memory would restart. He was a rector of a very prestigious university and neat mathematician, who lost his life but lived there every day. The current date of the story is set in 2010, making the teacher, as they call him in the history, 60 years old, and had already lived within that condition for 35 years. Being so brilliant, his ability was lost, and he was unable to remember anything that had happened after 1975. Through history, the professor cited unimaginable mathematical equations which when they came out of his mouth seemed like the best poetry in the world, so much so that they seemed like the best compliments ever written. I'm not going to lie, the teacher was the one who captivated me the most through the reading, so much that I wished there was a math teacher like him, with that ease of setting the most elaborate equations in such a simple way, that they made you feel that being grown was fine, that it was just real. That book marked me and aroused my interest in reading a little more. That is why I consider it as one of the best I have read, since it involved the mathematical context that I like so much and it perfectly involved it in a reading. I would gladly read it again.